Are you ready for the monthly sketch? I'm Deb Keyes with Stampin' on the Hill. Welcome and thank you for joining me. Today's August 13th, and of course, it's time for a new sketch. Sketches are kind of like a template. If you haven't been following, I usually do one each month, and I encourage you to follow along and use your own supplies, whatever they are. Whether the colors are changing or the designer series paper, if I'm using some changes, or you don't even have to use DSP. The stamp set can change, whatever it is. So the whole idea is to use this as a template. You probably saw the graphic that I did on Monday. So let me show it to you again, and then we'll jump right in. But use these like a template. Let's see, let's show you. Here is the challenge, the sketch itself. I tried to give you a few dimensions so you have an idea of kind of what sizes to cut your different papers that you're using. And let's see here. Of course, our bundle of the month is Impressions Abloom. So we'll be using that one today. Let's jump from here to here. And you can see the Impressions Abloom. This is the stamp set. These are the dies. I'm using a little bit of both. Set this aside. We're also going to be using, out of my way here, we're also going to be using some pieces of, I cut this out ahead of time. I'll show you these couple things in a minute. We're using soft seafoam as our card base. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. And then I've got a little piece of basic white, which is 2 by 1 1/8. And then I'm using some DSP. I wanted to quick show you the DSP here a minute, because I don't think I've shown it to you yet. So I'm going to flip through from the back. So this is the back side and the front side. Can you see? All right. So there's 2 sheets of each of these. It's 12 by 12. This is the one I'm using today. 2. And I think that's it. So we've used all those. So anyway, I have taken, this was the full sheet here, and I took, because this is directional, I took and cut a 4-inch strip off of the top of here, and then I cut down my DSP to 3.5. So the piece that we're using on the front is 3.5 this way by 4 this way. And then the back side of it is non-directional. So I just cut another piece off of another 1-inch strip off of that side, and then we're flipping it upside down. So the little piece is actually 2.5 by 1. All right, so let's see here. We're going to start by grabbing some soft seafoam ink. Ooh, that was a squeaky mess, wasn't it? And I'm going to use the leaf. And this is kind of cool. It's almost like, oh, what did they call that stuff? Instinctive, those instinctive stamps that we had. Let me set this aside because I want to put this. And so the instinctive stamps that we have had have some texture to the stamp itself, which is kind of cool. All right, so I'm going to just use the leaf, and I'm going to go, knowing that I'm going to have a piece of DSP, I'm going to kind of just go around these 3 sides right here. So let's see, we'll just sort of stamp. And when I do this, I kind of like to go in a circle. Well, I shouldn't say a circle, but where I'm moving not only my hand around with the stamp on it, but I'm also moving the paper so that it doesn't look too perfect. Let's see, let's try that one go. So this one can go this way, and this, and let's see if that's going to be enough. Let's go a little bit more on the top and the bottom here. Let's go that way. And let's go this way here. That's probably good. All right. So then we're done with the soft sea foam. So now we're going to, we can adhere our DSP. Make sure the glue works today. It's always a fun process, isn't it? Oh, yay, look at that. Bonus. All right. So I'm going to put my DSP, I'm going all the way to the left edge, but I'm also kind of centering it top to bottom. And it doesn't matter if it's totally perfect or not. And then, so what I did with the flower, I pre-did this, but I kind of wanted to show you because I used this particular die, and this is actually 2 dies. So there's an inside that has texture and then just the frame. You can use both together or you can use them separately. I used them together and I stamped with blueberry ink onto Misty Moonlight cardstock. And you can see the texture better on the back. Trying to see if you can kind of see the texture. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of lines in here, like the flower lines that sort of match with, so I stamped the, I didn't use the solid stamp. I used the line stamp and stamped it and then cut it out. And then I also stamped with pecan pie, the center. All right, so, and that was just with the solid. I used the solid. I didn't even use a stamp, but I cut the leaves. So this one set of leaves that are from here, I cut one of those out, and then I ended up, got stuff going all over the place. Then I ended up cutting it in half. So it had been kind of like this, and I cut it so that I had 2 sets of 2 leaves. And you can see there's a little imperfection there on that leaf, which probably won't make a difference one way or another, but I'll show you how to hide that. So I've got those, and this is my other piece of the backside of the DSP. And what we're going to do is cut the banner ends into it. And I know that I've shown this to you before, but we're going to come the center between the left and the right, and we're just going to pick the center point, and I'm just making a little slit. So I'm going to cut just a slit up here, and then I'm going to cut from the corner to the top of the slit that I made. And I'm sure you probably can't see the slit anymore because it's got that graphic on it. And then I'm going to kind of do the same thing on the other side. Again, I'm not looking for perfection because I kind of feel like handmade stuff isn't perfect. So, all right. So there's my banner. And then I'm going to put I probably didn't even have to go that far in on there now that I see this, but I'm going to stamp on here. And I like to use, sometimes I don't like to use the whole stamp set. You know, I'm especially because I'm using the stamp set for like the whole month of all the projects that we're doing all month, and everything just says thanks. So sometimes I will bring in a secondary stamp set, and this time I'm going to be using Blooming Phrases, and I'm using the happy and the birthday, and I'm using Blueberry Bushel so that it matches my flower here. And I'm going to start with the birthday on the bottom first so that I can kind of get the placement of where I know that the happy is going to be on top of it. So can you see what I'm doing here? So birthday, I'm kind of centering it from left to right. And I'm putting the top of the loops of the letters in about the center. Straight down and straight back up. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the happy, except this time, instead of trying to make it, I don't want there to be too much space between the happy and the birthday. So I'm going to look through here, and I'm going to kind of bring the bottoms of the P's down between my couple of loops here. And then I'm just going to bring it right back up just a tad to stamp my happy. And I'm happy with that. Let me grab a chamois here a second and get that ink off of my glass mat so it doesn't accidentally get on something else. And then we can adhere this to here. This is a little bit taller and a little bit narrower than our DSP. So I'm just sort of centering it onto the DSP. If your ink's not dry, a good rule of thumb is if you're not sure the ink is dry, flip it over to smooth it out a little bit and make sure that you're not smearing the ink. Okay, so then we're going to put the happy birthday. Let's kind of dry fit this a minute first. So we've got the happy birthday here, and then I want my flower to kind of be up here. I want it to go this way. My flower to be kind of up here. So, and then I'm going to have leaves. I'm going to add the leaves in too. So the happy birthday, and I'm going to do this, and I'm just flat without dimensionals for this. I think I'm going to pop my flower up on dimensionals. This is not necessarily centered. I'm just kind of eyeballing where I like it. So it's not centered here necessarily, and it's not centered between here and here either. So I'm going to grab a couple of dimensionals for my flower. And I'm going to put that on first, and then I'm going to be able to tuck my leaves down underneath. So let's go like this. That's kind of cool. Nah. I thought it'd be cool. I don't like it in that way. All right, so now these, I've got this one little imperfection here, but I thought if I tucked it up in here, maybe not. Maybe if I tuck it here. Well, we can tuck it, or it doesn't even matter. I had it when I had it dry fit before I went on camera. Of course, I had it just perfect the way I liked it. And of course, now it's not working. So let's go here and here. Well, now that I put my there, that's kind of better. Yeah. All right. So that one will go up at the top, and then this one will put at the bottom. Of course, things never go as planned. And this is going to go down here. And then we can add some more, something along the sides if we want. We could add another piece of DSP at the bottom if we wanted on the inside. But for now, I'm going to leave this like it is. Okay. So hopefully you are totally inspired by our sketch for the month, and you'll go make one because it's really simple. And I have the dimensions there for you on the graphic. Please feel free to post if you take the challenge. Feel free to post a picture of your card that you made onto Monday's post so we can all see it. And if you do take the challenge, I will pick a winner from everybody who participates. I'll pick a winner by right around the 15th of next month and let everybody know who the winner is. All right. If you want the measurements, they will be on my blog. I'll post the link down below in the description. And if you want written tutorials of all of our card, we're going to make this card particularly in class in August. So sign up for the class either virtually or in person. And If you can't come to either and still want the instructions, be sure to subscribe to my newsletter by the end of August, because the beginning of September, I will send the newsletter out, and all of these written tutorials will be included, all of the ones that are in the class. So let me think what else. I think that's about it. So I would appreciate your help if you would please take the time to give me a thumbs up or subscribe to my YouTube channel if that's where you're watching me from. And that just helps me to reach more people. So I would appreciate your help in that. Thank you very much, and thanks for watching.